Hey everyone, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. All right, folks, we of course have to start with the price because Bitcoin today actually went lower than its low it set in February, right? After the major dump that we saw down from December into January and February. But, guys, if you look at the RSI on the daily chart, this is just the metrics. This is by the textbook now. It's not my feelings or emotions. This thing is so oversold. In fact, it is more red than what we saw in February. And remember what the sentiment was in February. So it is brutal out there, folks. The sentiment is in extreme fear. The MVRV is showing that the 30-day traders, they are underwater big time. It's coming to levels that we saw in February. Now, February did have a deeper hole, but man, it is so bad out there. It's so bloody. But this is where I get bullish because I want to do the opposite of the herd. And then when we talk about the herd, guys, Jim Cramer is out there on TV and on X saying who murdered Bitcoin. Michael Saylor murdered Bitcoin. Those are the exact words he's using. So he's putting that narrative out there on multiple fronts, on TV, on social media. And that is a big contrarian signal, right? This is where we want to be bullish, guys. And in fact, I'm buying. I'm buying Bitcoin, even if it's just to swing trade it, because I don't think the move that's coming next, which I think is going to be a strong one because it's so oversold, it's so bloody out there. And I don't think it's a move to new all-time highs. I think it's the same type of setup, relief rally, right? Because we're still in that 4-year cycle. Until the market shows us that it's going to break that, we have to stick to that thesis. But I think a strong reversal is coming, and I think altcoins are going to follow. Now, are there any guarantees here and certainties? Of course not. We're talking probabilities, but we can at least go off the data and the metrics. And I think many of you who know the RSI, and that's a strong signal that we have to look at. We have to look at sentiment, and all these things are aligning up where the herd, the crowd is bearish. They feel it's over for Bitcoin and crypto. And look at this, Dave Portnoy, who we know comes in and out of crypto. I don't take financial advice from Dave Portnoy, but obviously I look at people of his caliber, which have huge followings. He has 3.8 million followers on X, and he's well known on social media, right? So he says Bitcoin and crypto are making me sad. So we are seeing capitulation, we're seeing fear, we're seeing people giving up, we're seeing Cramer put out the worst narrative out there. Bitcoin has been murdered by Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy. And my OG subscribers and listeners, even those of you who you just started listening to me, but you've been in markets for a while, guys, this is so bullish. I know some of you are gonna say, Tony, what are you smoking? Give me some of that. But I am telling you, I've seen this many times before, being here since 2016. It's the same story and over and over. Once the herd gets fearful, that's a time to turn bullish. And like I said, I am buying the dip here. Now, that's not financial advice. Obviously, do your own research, but I hope you understand the market principles. Even Warren Buffett said it. When others are greedy, you want to be fearful. When others are fearful, meaning the crowd is fearful, that's when you want to be greedy. So I'm getting greedy right now. And yes, I have to be patient. Yes, I have to have the macro view, but I'm going to look to do a swing trade here for Bitcoin and some of these altcoins. Buy the dip, sell the rip. Now, here's something that I did not have in my 2026 bingo card. Former President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, says fiat is a sham. The banking class is corrupt. Decentralized digital currency and blockchain are the inevitable future. I did not expect this to come from Hunter Biden. It's so funny. But again, I don't take financial advice from these guys, right? But it's so interesting to see people from all walks of life are recognizing crypto and blockchain technology. Now, folks, look at this news. Jamie Dimon and the banks are fighting hard. So JPMorgan, Citibank, and major US banks to launch a new tokenized deposit system to compete with crypto. Now, this is why Jamie Dimon's fighting stablecoin yield so much. He's fighting the Clarity Act. Just recently, I played the clip for you guys where he was interviewed on Fox Business. He was so angry, saying Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, is full of shit, and we're gonna block the Clarity Act, right? Because they're getting disrupted. And we often talk about this saying of first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. So I think we're transitioning from the they fight you to then you win phase. But clearly, Jamie Dimon and the banks, they're not going down without a fight. So they're going to lobby hard when it comes to the midterm elections to try to get as many senators not to vote for the Clarity Act. So we got a battle on our hands, but clearly this technology is the future. Jamie's saying, hey guys, all the banks, we need to come together. We need to build our own blockchain system because we got to compete because the technology is legitimate. Now, to some people, this is all a fad. This is a Ponzi scheme. This is magic internet money. They haven't educated themselves. They haven't taken the time to read through what's happening here. But the banks know. That's why they're fighting. If this was some scam and just something that's not relevant, that's not disrupting them, they wouldn't care. Do you think they would care? They would just, whatever. Who cares about these guys? We're going to continue. But they know disruptions at their doorstep. So the Wall Street Journal put an article out about this. And, again, the headline is JPMorgan, Citi, and big banks plan new tokenized deposit system to answer crypto. The new network would help banks to contend with a wave of new competition from stablecoins and crypto firms. We are on the right side of history. If you are here now, you are still early, guys, because the banks are still trying to fight. So, incredible what's happening. This is validation, 100% validation of this technology and the direction of where we're headed. And look, Jamie even has his media partners putting out information that the JP Morgan says the crypto bill may not only have a narrow window for passage this year. So we've seen his statements. Now he's trying to do the media blitz, right? To say, see, it's not going to pass. Don't worry about it, blah, blah, while he's trying to build his own thing with the banks. It's pathetic. But hey, what can you expect, right? These bankers, like I've been saying, they don't want to give up those year-end bonuses. They want to keep those big fat checks while they continue to give you breadcrumbs, 0.01% of interest, right? They park your deposits, your money at the Fed. They earn up to 4% and they give you 0.01%. So that's what's happening here, folks. Quick word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by BitGo, the trusted infrastructure behind the digital asset economy. If you're serious about crypto, whether you're an investor, institution, or building in this space, you already know security, compliance, and execution are everything. And that's exactly what BitGo delivers. With over a decade of experience and 5,500 plus institutional clients across 100 plus countries, BitGo provides a full suite of services, including qualified custody, trading, staking, financing, and stablecoin infrastructure, all in one platform. Let's break it down. Want to launch crypto services fast? BitGo's crypto as a service lets banks, fintechs, and platforms go live in as little as a couple of months without dealing with complex licensing or infrastructure. If you're looking to launch a stablecoin, BitGo offers a complete stablecoin as a service platform from reserves and smart contracts to compliance, built to align with the new U.S. regulatory framework that is the Genius Act. Want to earn rewards on your crypto? BitGo runs one of the largest institutional staking platforms with tens of billions staked across 50 plus networks, all while your assets stay securely in qualified custody. Need deep liquidity and execution? Their trading platform aggregates liquidity across 30 plus venues, giving you better pricing and the ability to trade directly from custody. No pre-funding required for approved clients. And if you need capital, BitGo offers crypto-backed financing, so you can unlock liquidity without selling your assets. So here's the bottom line. BitGo is one of the first federally chartered digital asset infrastructure companies offering regulated, insured custody and a platform built for institutions, but accessible to forward-thinking players across the space. So whether you're scaling a fintech, managing a fund, or building the future of finance, BitGo gives you all the tools that you need to do this securely, compliantly, and at scale. So learn more at bitgo.com and see why the biggest players in crypto trust BitGo.
Okay, moving ahead. Morgan Stanley Wealth Management partners with Galaxy Digital, letting eligible clients lend crypto assets at Galaxy and receive spot crypto ETP shares in return, cutting onboarding times by up to 75% and lowering the transaction minimum from $25 million to $5 million. So you can see these big TradFi firms, they want to offer crypto, and they're partnering with crypto native firms and crypto hedge funds and much more. Galaxy's been around for a long time. That's Mike Novogratz's firm. They've been here since 2016, 2017, investing in crypto. And now look at these big Wall Street banks and firms partnering with these folks, right? And we know, for example, Coinbase, they support BlackRock and Citibank and JPMorgan and much more with crypto services. Morgan Stanley also launched in-kind creations for its spot Bitcoin ETF. This is huge, which means they actually have to hold the physical Bitcoin. If you recall, BlackRock set the standard with this as far as TradFi institutions. So this is really, really great. And more news around big banks on Wall Street. Goldman Sachs teams up with Apex Archex for tokenized real estate fund. So guys, when I've been telling you for years, all the assets are going on chain. That was not hyperbole. It was not a joke. This is the future. They're going to put all assets on chain to run 24/7, to bring in liquidity from across the globe, to put assets that would sit idly in a vault or whatever to work. So this is where we're headed. The markets, the economies, and governments all running on blockchain rails, and real estate is the world's largest asset class, of course. So infrastructure provider Onera and the real estate investment manager LRC Group are also included in the debut of the blockchain native real estate fund. The fund shares are tokenized using GSDAP, Goldman Sachs blockchain platform. Incredible what's being built here, folks. It's massive. So the fund combines blockchain native issuance with established fund structures, according to a press release, and is designed to enhance operational efficiency and transparency while enabling potential future transferability and maintaining robust governance and regulatory oversight. Incredible what's being built. Okay, moving ahead, Ether.fi allocates $100 million to a Plume RWA vault, giving users access to yield. So Plume and Ether.fi have launched a new vault, a collaborative earn product that gives Ether.fi's users access to real-world asset yield. Plume said Ether.fi has allocated $100 million to the vault. The allocation comes from a mix of Ether.fi's liquidity provider base and managed capital from its existing liquidity vaults. Charles Mountain, head of ecosystem at Ether.fi, told the block. So folks, despite the market conditions, we continue to see incredible building and development by native crypto firms like Ether.fi and the TradFi institution. So they're not stopping because they're looking past the current market volatility and ebbs and flows. Now, Bybit joins Western Union's USDPT network as stablecoin expands distribution. Now, many of you may recall I interviewed the head of digital assets at Western Union. We talked about their stablecoin USDPT, which is built on Solana. And it looks like they're getting the partnerships now for the distribution of this stablecoin, because if you have a stablecoin and it's a public one, it's not, let's say, a private internal thing, you need a network of participants and people who will support that, right? That's how you get network effects and network adoption. So crypto exchange Bybit has added support for Western Union's USDPT stablecoin, a move that brings the payments giant's digital dollar onto a major crypto trading venue for the first time. So huge news here, folks. And, just this past week, we talked about MoneyGram, Western Union's competitor, launching their stablecoin on the Stellar blockchain. So it's MGUSD. So all these folks integrating existing stablecoins or creating their own. So competition's heating up, which is really, really great. Now, final news item here. Mike Selig, chair of the CFTC, posted a photo of him and Congressman Tom Emmer, who's the GOP majority whip. And he said, hard at work on Capitol Hill with Tom Emmer to help get clarity across the line and deliver clear rules that unlock innovation, protect software developers, and cement the U.S. as the crypto capital of the world. So let's hope we see some big movement for the Clarity Act come maybe this week or the week after, because that would be ideal if we get positive news because the charts are lining up here. Again, we are so oversold. I'm telling you, a reversal is coming, a major one, based on the textbook now. And if we, the narrative usually follows the price. So could we get some bullish news on the Clarity Act, maybe the Bitcoin Reserve Bill, digital asset stockpile? It's possible. Again, no guarantees, no certainties, just probabilities. But guys, I'm bullish. I'm bullish. A lot of people right now are going to hate on me and say, Tony, you are crazy. But guys, this type of extreme oversold environment, this much fear, the fear and greed index right now is at a 12, extreme fear. I love it. I love it because it's the herd that is feeling this way. And I'm getting again, I'm buying the dip. Not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Some of it will go into the long-term hold bag. Some of it is swing trade it. Even if it goes up just 15%, 20%, taking profits, right? So this is where I'll continue to update you guys in my newsletter. So make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. It is 100% free. I'll be putting out a write-up on Monday, and it will be awesome if next week we see a major rally or reversal. Again, not to new all-time highs, right? Just a relief rally. Folks, also support the podcast by checking out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And check out my course at mycryptocourse.com. Right now, we got a huge sale. You can get a discount on the price of the course, 50% off by using the code BEAR, BEAR at checkout. So go to mycryptocourse.com. All the links will be in the description. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.